The fearful avoidant attachment style can impact every area of your life, not just relationships. And for some people, that's only where the fearful avoidant attachment style comes out to play. But it can definitely also have impact on your money issues or the relationship you have with money. I am Paulina and I am so happy you are here because money is important. Money impacts our life, it impacts our mental health, and how it is tied to your survival instinct, because money buys you food, money buys you shelter. So how how safe you feel impacts your relationship with money, and the other way around, your relationship with money impacts how safe you feel. So I really do have to say that some fearful avoidants don't have any money issues. They are great savers. They have buffers. They are completely fine and safe in the money department. But there are fearful avoidants who tend to also have the fearful avoidant dynamics play out in their relationship with money. And so if you really look at the fearful avoidant attachment style, um, the dynamics that characterize it are the highs and lows and the emotional volatility. And that can also play out with money. It could look different for everyone, just to be very clear. But it could be that the same dynamics play out. So I want you to do a little exercise. I want you to grab a pen and some paper and write down, if money was a person, what do they feel like, or are they like? And really take some time to write this down. Really brainstorm this and really kind of tune into, if money was a person, what would they feel like? Feel very free to pause this and do this exercise. Really take some time for it. Because what can be really, really interesting is that you start to recognize that the way you look at money is the same relationship that you have with your father, or that you had with your father. Weirdly enough, it most of the time is the father. Isn't that interesting? Um, I don't know why that is. I mean, that's maybe some deeper psychological stuff, but it is very well likely that your relationship with your father plays out in your relationship with money. And so when that was a volatile relationship and you always felt like you were on edge and about to lose everything, so lose the relationship with your father, that he would reject you or abandon you, it is very likely that you do that too with money, and you don't allow yourself a lot of safety when it comes to money. It could be that you find yourself having a lot of money at some points and then no money at all, and then you have to start all over again and build up that money, that buffer. Um, and it could be that that was the same when you were younger, that you felt like you were working really hard to get approval or attention, and then something would happen and that would all fall apart, and your father would reject or abandon you or judge you, and all of a sudden you were back to square one and you would just have to work really hard again to get that approval. So I started looking at money um, this way. Like I recognized some patterns. I was like, oh, this is very interesting that this plays out in money also, my fearful avoidant attachment style. And so I healed that very specifically around money. And from that moment, things changed. So where before I would have that pattern of having a lot of money and then none at all anymore, always bills, unexpected bills would come, and I would never be able to hold a buffer. And then I healed this around money, and all of a sudden I had a buffer that never went away. And it was so intriguing that this would have such an impact, and that my relationship with my father actually has such an impact on how I view money. Of course, also the way you just see money and the beliefs that you adopted from society and from your parents and from people around you about how how money works, how scarce it is, how scary it is. That definitely also plays a role. But how safe you feel in life in general influences how safe you allow yourself to feel with money. So when you feel safe in life, you will allow yourself to save money and have a buffer and feel safe spending money and earning money, and having money and holding money. But when you don't feel safe in life or in your relationships, it could be that you also mimic that in your money relationship, and that it is either hard for you to spend, or hard for you to save, or hard for you to hold on to money. And specific for the fearful avoidant attachment style, I think most fearful avoidants, not all, but most, tend to crash and burn and destruct and build. So you build something, and then all of a sudden all of it is gone, and then you start over again, and then you start over again, and then you start over again, because that is, I think, the most common dynamic, the most common pattern in relationships. Also, the emotional volatility. So fearful avoidants are very used to intense emotions, and um, having how do you say that, chaotic or dramatic things happen with money can cause a lot of intense emotions. So being very stable with money and just, earning more than enough and setting aside every month and seeing that buffer grow, that doesn't really cause drama or chaos. And sometimes we fearful avoidants are kind of addicted to that feeling of adrenaline. And this played out in money much longer than it did in my relationship. In my relationship, I allowed safety and stability. But in money, I still almost created this kind of drama and chaos, because in a way my body was just kind of addicted to that adrenaline rush, even though I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But yeah, this is how money can, or how the fearful avoidant attachment style can impact money. There's so many different ways, but let's talk about it. Are you interested in this? Do you want me to talk about this more? Because we can, and really see how, what money would be like if money was a person, and share that in the comments if you feel comfortable. It's very interesting to see. As always, I am so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style.